This is the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. What you are about to hear is just the opinions of Matthew and Erik, who are the hosts. This podcast will talk about life, love, politics, religion, and whatever else runs around their heads in the moment. Their opinions are just that, opinions, and only their opinions. It does not represent anyone else but them at that moment in time. Not their significant others, family, friends, employers, companies, or anyone else that they might know. You are probably going to hear cuss words. The hosts cuss and really don't care if any guests cuss too. If you are offended by something, this probably isn't the podcast for you. But if you like what you hear, please keep listening.
Welcome to the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. I am Matthew, one of your hosts, and over there someone via the internet is Erik.
Hi.
Hi. That was awesome. What is this? Number 5? Odd Atheist Friends?
Numero 5?
Numero 5. Cinco.
I hablo the Espanol.
Do you? Yo pequeño. Yo pequeño.
A little bit.
Yo la vida en España, 3 años. So, I said I lived in Spain for 3 years for those one person who's listening to this who doesn't speak Spanish. So, anyway, so our last conversation we had, Erik, you were going to talk about your story, but then you got sidetracked off on all kinds of bullshit, and we're talking about surgeries, which was a great conversation, but we didn't talk about what you wanted to talk about. But first, we need to talk about episode 3 and Molly on Mormon, and what a great and funny guest she was. What a great interview.
Yeah, she was great. I also want to bring up that we just started our Patreon page, which you can find at www.patreon.com/OAF. And we got our first patron, which is Molly.
Woo! Molly, patron number 1.
So we have to give her a big thank you, because we really appreciate it.
So, Molly, you are our first patron, and you will be special in our hearts because you broke our cherries.
You also broke our guest cherry, so you're just fucking us everywhere.
Fucking us everywhere. Thank you, Molly. What would Joseph Smith be talking about? Oh, wait a minute. He was banging all kinds of daughters. Fuck that guy.
No, but that's okay.
So, yeah, you understand the joke. That was just stupid. So, but anyways, so OAF number 5, and you wanted to talk about your story, so please, Erik, tell your story.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess I just wanted to talk about
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. I guess I just wanted to talk about my how I figured out I was trans and my coming out, and obviously the story is still ongoing, so I can talk about the current place I'm in and how fun it is after you guys all heard about my dick last episode, so I know you're ready for this.
Sure, why not? Always ready to hear stories after talking about somebody's dick.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of dicks. Well. Whale. Yeah, sometimes the southern accent really comes out in me. It's terrible.
Well, I was just actually thinking of Dana Carvey from Saturday Night Live back in the day with the church lady.
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't that special? Could it be maybe, I don't know, Satan? One of the funniest fucking continuing things that was on that show was the church lady. And I know it was, they're making fun of Christianity, kind of, because you got those ladies in the churches, And I've been to a couple of Southern Baptist churches, so I know exactly what they're like. And a lot of them were like that, too. It was like, yeah. Anyways, side point.
That's my family. Well, my extended family, for sure. Oh, yeah. Gosh.
Fuck your God.
Fuck your God. Really. Let's see. I guess in the last episode we talked a little bit about how, like, it's kind of hard to know what you are as a kid, because you are what you're told to be. Basically, like, you were told not to play with dolls, and I was told I was a girl.
Remember, I got clipped on the back of the head.
Yeah.
And don't play with dolls. Don't forget that. The all-important fucking physical abuse part.
Yeah, the best part. No, it's terrible.
Absolutely.
We could have a whole episode on that sometime.
Yeah. Anyways, let's not get fucking sidetracked anymore.
So, I don't know. Growing up, like, I had enough on my plate without having to think about the whole gender thing. So, I never thought about it until, like, I started questioning, like, my sexuality probably in high school, I guess. I don't know. I was like, do I like girls? Am I a lesbian? Because I know I'm not a straight woman, so I have to be something else. So I knew I wasn't a straight woman. But I guess I knew transgender was a thing, but I'd never really thought about it, and I never knew it was something, like, I could be. Like, no one ever said, hey, maybe this is you. So I never thought about it.
You know, and I think that's valid. A lot of people think about stuff and they don't realize that they don't need permission. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, is pretty valid. You know, with being cis, it's like the permission is tacit. You know, it's just, hey, you're a dude. Like girls. Okay, well, I'm a guy and I like girls, so everything is good. Or if you're a girl and you like guys, everything is good. But anything else, you're like, can I?
Yeah. It's almost taboo to think about.
It really is taboo. It's not almost. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, I can definitely say I never let my mind wander in that direction, because that just wasn't something that was possible at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
So I never thought about it that way. But I was thinking about my sexuality in high school, and I was like, okay, I like dudes, for sure, but I'm not a straight woman. I definitely feel like that's not me. So then I was like, do I like women too? Am I bisexual? Or am I a lesbian? So I bought this, like, fucking lesbian erotica book. And this is really interesting to me now, but I didn't like it. Like, it didn't, like, I wasn't, like, sexually aroused by the book or anything, but the parts I did enjoy were the parts where the women would wear a strap on and pretend to have a penis, and that never rang a light bulb to me. But now I'm like, wow, I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
I'm listening with rapt attention. I mean, you know, I'm, as a straight guy, you know, as a cis guy, I mean, this is stuff that, you know, I wouldn't have never have thought about. So this is all, like, really fascinating to me on how somebody is trans and how they went through the process. So this is all, like, really fascinating to me.
Yeah. And obviously everybody has a different process, and it's always interesting to hear how people figure things out. Like,
yeah.
Whether that be if they figure out they're gay or trans or atheist or vegan or anything. Like,
exactly.
It's all a process. So yeah, I've read that, and I never thought about it, like how those parts mostly intrigued me the most. But fast forward a few years, I still like guys, but I don't know. I kept questioning if, like, I kept questioning my sexuality because I didn't think about questioning my gender, because I still didn't really know that was something I could do.
Okay.
And until I get to college, and like a couple of years into college, I'm on YouTube, and I find these trans men that have YouTube channels, and they're talking about their experiences and how they transitioned and started testosterone and figured out who they were and everything. And I remember I watched those videos. I mean, I still watch the videos, but I started watching them like just thinking, wow, that is really cool. I wish I could be like that, but not correlating the fact that, hey, I'm probably trans.
Yeah.
Because that's not something I want. I mean, that's not something I really wanted to be. I didn't want that. That's, I don't know. But I didn't want to have to go through that whole process. I didn't want that to be me because that would change my entire life. Because at the time, I was in a relationship, like a long-term relationship with a heterosexual guy, a cisgender guy. And so, like, obviously that would change that relationship. That would just change my relationship with my family, and it would be a huge process, and it was really stressful. So I just stopped thinking about that.
And I think this is something as a side point that whenever somebody comes out as something that's not a part of the normal, you know, like you're not a Christian. Let's just take it for instance. Say you decide not to be a Southern Baptist and you want to become Muslim. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you want to do something that's considered radical for the society that you're in. You face opposition at best. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean,
yeah.
You know, as coming out as an atheist, I've lost friends and family. My sister doesn't talk to me. I've lost first cousins. And I've lost friends that I served with in combat zones no longer speak to me. Many. Friends in high school. Well, high school. I didn't like half of them when I was in high school for various reasons because I was a religious asshole. And now that now that I'm an atheist, my cat literally just took my straw out of my drink as I was talking. He likes straws.
Good job, pussy.
My pussy just likes my straws. And he took my straw right out of my drink as I'm talking. So, anyways, so now I don't like them for other reasons. So now that most of them are societal Christians, and so they don't want to think about the idea of somebody not believing in their God because it's weird. And then when we were in high school, they didn't, you know, they were doing whatever. I don't think that they were atheists. I just think that they were unbelievers in Christian God, but I don't think that they were atheist. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Just because you don't follow the faith of your thing doesn't mean that you disbelieve. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then many of them, and these are the same people who never went 100 miles ever. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless they went on vacation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, now they don't like me and I don't like them for opposite reasons. At first they didn't like me because I was a Christian, and now they don't like me because I'm an atheist. So, well, they just don't fucking like me. So, well, they can kiss my ass with their tongue out. So, I think it's the same thing for trans or gay or whatever, that you're going to get a lot of the same stuff, that you're breaking societal taboo.
Yeah, I think it's the same for being vegan. It's unbelievable how many people are so opposed to people being vegan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's another topic for another time that I absolutely want to get into.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you just go against the majority, I think you're just gonna face so much shit.
Tyranny of the majority.
Yeah.
Okay, side point over again. Please continue.
So yeah, I guess I was just watching these trans guys on the internet and thinking, wow, that feels like me, but I don't know. And then during this whole period, I was super depressed. I was super suicidal. Like, I was in college at this point, and I guess I probably wasted at least 3 semesters basically not passing maybe one class a semester because I was just so depressed.
Oh my fucking God. Oh fuck your God. How does that go again? Oh fuck your God.
Oh fuck your God.
Oh fuck your God.
Yeah, so it was not the best place to be in, and I didn't really know why. So I knew deep down, I guess, that I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Probably. But so I started going to counseling at school, and I figured out a lot of stuff. Mostly I sat there for 6 months. I basically kept showing up because I didn't want to die, but I didn't have anything to say to my counselor because because I had never shared feelings before. I basically, growing up, I was trained to not have feelings, I guess, because feelings are bad.
You know, as a guy growing up, you know, they always say, you know, boys don't cry. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, you know, boys don't show weakness, you know? And I don't know if they do the same thing to girls, you know, don't cry in front of your men or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah. But I know that for me growing up, it was like to show any kind of weakness, any kind of emotional weakness is considered bad.
Right. I think it was just in my family in particular, they didn't know how to handle emotions, so they didn't want the emotions to be shown. And their way of coping.
Let's just be repressive.
Yeah. So their way of coping with their own emotions, aside from alcoholism and drugs, was and hitting people and all kinds of other things, was just like repressing and like literally something awful would happen, right? Like an awful scenario, and then the next day, nope, that did not happen. So that's basically what I was taught my entire life was, if something bad happens, no, it didn't happen. You don't need to think about it.
And
forget about it.
This is why horrible things happen, because you keep repressing and suppressing your emotions until something bad happens, and then you blow the hell up or you become sick. All kinds of stuff happens when you suppress and repress emotions. It's just bad.
Yeah, it really is. And I understand it's a cycle. I'm sure their parents did it. I know it happens in all kinds of families all around the world. Like, you have a cycle of abuse, and then it keeps getting, like, repeated. And I understand why, but it's fucked up, and I'm going to stop that cycle, but...
Good.
Yeah, that's why I don't partake in alcohol or drugs or anything. I'm not necessarily against, like, weed or alcohol to an extent, but I know that there's limits, and people break those limits all the time, and it's bad. So
yeah, well, honestly, I'm really hurt from my time in the military. I'm in constant pain all the time, and if I could, Illinois is, and especially Cook County where I live, well, Chicago, it's not exactly Cook County. Chicago, they don't prosecute. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you got less than a gram on you, they're not going to mess with you because it's personal use. And I'm not sure about the law on whether or not it's like legal here yet. I know they're trying to work it, where they're trying to like figure out the licensing for repositories and medical marijuana, that kind of stuff, where you can go buy it.
Yeah.
However, my job drug tests, my current job drug tests, so I couldn't. But also, the VA, if I smoke pot because I take meds from the VA, I could lose my meds from the VA if I pop positive for pot. Even though if I know that if I smoked pot for my pain, I would use less meds, but I would just lose my benefits. So
that's fucked up.
It's super fucked up. So, and because I do have to take pain meds and it can affect stuff like my liver and that kind of stuff, while I do drink, it's way not as much as I used to do when I was in my 20s. I could definitely hold down some alcohol when I was in my 20s and 30s. So, but yeah, I don't drink as much as I used to, that's for sure. I might have like 2 or 3 drinks on a weekend or something like that, but not like I used to, that's for sure. And Friday night, going out to the bar, oh lordy.
Yeah, well, and you didn't and don't have kids,
no.
So I mean, it's not like you're affecting other people negatively, even if you do decide to drink heavily.
No, although my wife might not like it.
Well,
but,
your wife, yeah.
But I mean, she's not against drinking, and she drinks. She's never smoked cigarettes. I did. I only quit in 2009, so it's been like 9 years since I quit smoking. 2008.
That's good.
So, yeah. So it's been less than 10 years since I quit smoking. That was a pack and a half a day. And when I was out drinking, man, I could smoke a pack a night while I was drinking. Damn. You wake up the next day feeling that heavy chest, and it's like, man, I gotta cut back for a couple of days. Anyways, so getting abused for coming out trans.
Well, yeah. Well, that wasn't even an issue, the trans thing. It was everything else. My existence, maybe? Yeah, okay, well, I didn't come out as trans until I was 21. And I moved out technically I moved out fully at 18. But I was, like, never at home after 17 anyway. So, and I was working 40 hours a week at 17 and 18 and onward, but, and supporting myself. So, but yeah, I never told them, I didn't know at that time anyway, but, yeah, I did tell them I was an atheist in, like, middle school or high school for sure, and they started out, very against it. They told me I was a Satan worshiper and I was going to hell and everything. But the funny thing is, they've actually made an interesting turn on that. I don't know if they're atheists, but I know they're definitely not very religious anymore, and they definitely see, like, more on the atheist side of things, which is good.
Yeah, but still the hell they put you through.
Yeah. And, like, I think they support the existence of gay people and trans people, maybe not trans people, I'm not sure, but for sure they support the existence of gay people. They just probably don't want them in their family.
Oops.
I'm like, sorry, I'm hitting a bunch of checkpoints right now, of what you don't want.
Check, and motherfucking check.
Yeah. But, so, I started going to counseling in college, and I figured out, like, basically how abusive my childhood was, and I figured out that I got diagnosed with PTSD, complex PTSD, which is, like, PTSD that wasn't caused from war. Like, it can be caused by childhood trauma, it can be caused by, like, sexual assault or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that people can get PTSD from. So, yeah. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. So
it's from a trauma. It's not post-war disorder. Yeah. But anyway, a lot of people like to argue that, and they don't think it's real because it's not from a war.
Which is just as fucking stupid. God damn. People who don't think that they can get trauma from being slapped around and abused as a kid. Are you kidding me? Or post-traumatic stress from being sexually assaulted, or even a car wreck.
Yeah, anything. I mean, everyone's different, so you can react differently to anything. But, like, any trauma can cause it. And, like, I still have nightmares, but I was having nightmares. Like, I would I would wake up screaming sometimes and crying and like, and I have triggers. Like there's things that, I mean, I've been working on them, but if someone even mentioned the word like alcohol or beer like several years ago, I would just break down, which is it was ridiculous. But like I had to, I'm still working through a lot of that, and I had to work through a lot. But yeah, so I guess it should have been obvious, but it wasn't because no one talks about mental illness either. Not. So people need to talk. We need to talk about mental illness. We need to talk about LGBT issues. We need people to be informed of things that could be happening to them, because I had no idea until I started going to counseling that I could have PTSD or whatever. So anyway, I figured I have that. I figured out I had depression, which I figured I already knew that because like I wanted to kill myself all the time, so I knew something was wrong.
You think?
I assumed something was wrong, or that was just going to be the rest of my life forever. I don't know.
What a horrifying thing to think about. And a lot of people, I think about this is that they don't think that their life is going to change, that it's always going to be like this. You know, it might be unless you do something to make it change. You know, what we were saying before in our last episode, that, you know, our life is only on average 80 years, you know? There is nothing after this, so go do something else if you're not happy.
Right. But I definitely understand how it's really easy to get stuck in thinking that way. Like I still have days where I'm just like, I probably should just die because I don't know, because society hates me anyway, so what's the point? I'm definitely working. I'm definitely a lot better than I was, and I'm working through it. It's just, it's difficult. But, so yeah, I figured that out, and then about a year after I figured out I have PTSD, I started questioning my gender and, like, feeling comfortable enough to question who I am and be okay with who I am inside. And I guess, let's see, yeah, I went to Zambia in May last year, so a year ago, actually, in a couple days, I went to Zambia for a few months to teach, and I did that as a woman, but I had already been thinking about how I'm probably trans, but then I was questioning, should I come out? I don't know. Like, that could ruin my life and stuff too, and it'll be really hard, but at this point, I'm still suicidal because I don't like who I am. I don't like who I'm presenting as. Yeah. I don't want to exist as who I am right now. So it's such a big struggle. It's so hard. But so I went to Zambia for 2 months as a woman. I did my whole teaching thing. I was away from this society. I was away from all my friends, family, people that knew me as who I was, and I could, like, think about who I am inside without having that outer influence, which was good. So that's when I started realizing, like, yeah, I'm happy over here doing, like, teaching and stuff, but I'm still unhappy on the inside, and I still want to kill myself because I'm not who I am.
That just sucks,
or I'm not acting as who I am.
That sucks.
Yeah. It did. It was not a good place to be in, but it was good to figure it out. And I mean, I'm lucky enough that I was able to go to counseling, because that's not something everybody can do. It costs money. I mean, I was going to a school counselor for free. It was part of my tuition and stuff. But
take advantage of it. Hell yeah.
So yeah, so I did that for 2 years, and when I got back from Zambia, like that week I got back from Zambia, I came out to a few people and I said, hey, this is who I feel like. And I had already picked out my name like several months before. My name is basically the inverse of the name I had before, which I think is really cool.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really cool. And then I picked a new middle name and a new last name too, because I wanted to.
Yeah, there you go.
And it made me feel more comfortable. And, yeah.
You know, I knew you before you came out. And when you transitioned over, like I think I mentioned last week, I was like, oh, Okay, cool. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's who you are. So if you decide that this is who you are, well, then that's who you are. Who am I to say anything about it? It's none of my fucking business. And, it's like, that's who you are. So I just accepted you for who you are.
Yeah, and I don't understand why people have a fucking problem with other people being who they are, not hurting anybody.
I don't
really
get it
don't
either.
understand it.
I honestly do not get it.
So, basically, it's a terrible struggle between I'm gonna probably kill myself if I have to be who I'm not, but also living in this world and this society and dealing with family and friends and just general strangers that don't want me to exist is gonna make me feel like killing myself too. So it's a terrible situation altogether, but I am a lot happier being who I am, and I've made new friends that know me as Erik and use the right pronouns and stuff, and it's really great. But I don't know, dealing with family is really difficult.
Yes.
I know a lot of trans people that have supportive family and stuff, and I'm so happy for them, but I also know a lot of trans people that don't have supportive family, and I'm like in that group, so I definitely understand.
Well,
I haven't even told I haven't told any of my extended family.
Like I've said, I've lost at least 2 of my first cousins. My sister doesn't talk to me for other reasons, but she's also not happy that I'm an atheist too. My aunt, I only have one aunt left living, and she is not really happy about it, but she's like, that's who you are, whatever. But she's like, everybody has their own opinions. You know what I'm saying? She's literally said that. Well, everybody has their own opinions, which is basically like, I don't agree, but I'm not going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Which is, right. I think that's Christian code. It's kind of like the Southern Baptist lady saying, bless your heart. Oh, well, fuck you too. So, yeah, I understand the people not being supportive. So, to a much lesser degree when it comes for something like that, because I'm cis. And so that's one of the, it's normal in our society. And even know that there's nothing wrong with being a transgender, too. People have grudges against it, which I really don't understand. What do you care? Just, really, what does it comes down to? Shut the fuck up. You don't care.
Yeah.
I think some of it might come down to, the being weirded out by gays. And so it's kind of an extrapolation from there. Because you hear this all the time with, like, some cis men who are so weirded out by gay people. It's like, they're like, oh, well, what if a gay guy's going to hit on you? Trust me, no gay man is going to hit on some fat, slovenly cowboy hat wearing dude. You know what I'm saying? Chances are highly against it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the, I don't want no gay guy hitting on me. No gay guy is going to get near you with a 10-foot pole. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, do you see what I'm saying? I mean, am I out on a limb here?
No, I think that people definitely group trans people into just a giant lump of
which is
homosexuals.
so not the case.
It's not. A lot of trans people are heterosexual or asexual or whatever. Some of them are homosexual, but I mean, it shouldn't affect anyone. And I think this is the big thing. Even if you disagree with people's existence, which is strange, but you should respect them as a person. I don't understand people that don't respect people. Like, even if someone's a bigoted, homophobic Christian, I'll still use their correct name. right? I don't know. It's just really offensive, and it hurts a lot when people use the wrong name and pronouns. I'm not talking about like accidentally or if someone doesn't know me, because that would be stupid of me to be offended by. But I mean, I won't lie. Sometimes it hurts a little bit if someone calls me ma'am, like, and they don't know me. But I also understand why they're doing it, because they just think I am, and I'm not offended. But if someone knows I'm trans and they use the wrong name and pronouns, especially if I've asked them repeatedly to use the correct ones, it is very
just telling
hurtful.
You fuck you.
Yeah, and that's basically like my entire family.
If you say, I prefer to be called Erik, and they call you something else, they might as well put their middle finger right in your face. It's the same thing. They might as well put their middle finger right in your nose. Fuck you too.
Yeah. And I understand there's going to be it's going to be, you have to get used to it, which is fine. And that would mean that you accidentally use the wrong name or whatever, which is also fine. But when you're doing it on purpose, it's really
is
hurtful.
Something else. If you accidentally misgender somebody, or you use the wrong pronoun, one of the things I've learned to do is just call people by the name they choose to be chosen by. That stops it. And so, because I'm still learning about, some of this stuff, and I really don't want to misgender somebody. So in order to train myself to not do that, I will just call them by their chosen name. So, you prefer to be called Erik. I will call you Erik. That's the end of it. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you in particular, but do you see what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
Because it can still be really confusing. So, and I really mean with all of my heart to be a supporter and be an ally, but trying to beat down some of these old cis things can really it was a lot of brainwashing to try to unwash. Yeah,
and I mean, trans people even have to deal with that themselves. Like, I think I talked about it a little bit in the last episode. I mean, I still say things the wrong way, and I still feel like, I don't know, I shouldn't be trans because that's bad, but it's not bad.
No, it's not.
And I fully support you.
Thank you. I don't need your support, but I appreciate it. Because as a cis white guy, I think I'm going to be okay. I really think I'm going to be okay.
Probably. But I don't know. The gays might take over.
Why would I be afraid of that? This is really, something that I talked about before. Like when I said when we got women on my second ship, and then it made the hyper macho guys really kind of calm down. I think that if we have more support and egalitarianism, that it will make a lot of these fucking super critical assholes realize that their opinions, being voiced in a critical way and judgmental ways is not okay. And so we need to make sure that these people know that they're not okay, which is one of the things that, when I see somebody say something sexist or make a really crude joke or a lot of different things, racist, I will point that out immediately. And my pointing out racist and homophobic slurs on a friend who I served with page got me a death threat a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So I don't know if I mentioned it on the show or not, but I got a death threat from a Trump supporter. So he sent me a address of the place where he said he was going to bury my body. Okay, well, I reported him to the police. and blocked him on Facebook and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, and there goes proof when I said that you were a horrible fucking person. Thank you for proving it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was saying all kinds of racist shit about Obama. And don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly an Obama supporter like 100%. He did a lot of shit I didn't agree with. But, you know, he started saying, he called him Oreo. And using in the term that he did, it's like, and I said, you're a fucking racist. And he didn't like that a whole hell of a lot. So, anyways, way side point, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, that's basically my story. I already told you about my dick, so.
You told me about your dick, and now you told me how you came out as a man. Okay.
I still have, like, a lot of stuff to figure out, I guess, and stuff to, but, yeah, and I started hormones, 7-8 months ago.
You need to take a picture every day.
I can't.
You need to take a picture every day, post it in a special special album on Facebook, so you can document your transition. I think it would be therapeutic.
Yeah, it was really nice looking at, like, a right before I started and a now.
I saw that picture on Facebook, and the transformation is stunning.
Yeah, it's really cool. Going through puberty again is not so cool, but I don't know, and I don't know. It's just all been a huge process. Like, getting on hormones is a huge process. Speaking of, I would like to say I get my hormones through Planned Parenthood, which is basically the only place I could get them in North Carolina, other than by going through a licensed endocrinologist, which can take years to even get through, and lots of money. So Planned Parenthood is basically the only place I could go. It's affordable, and they're really trans friendly, and I need them to stay open. So
another reason why we need to keep the fundies from doing fucking something stupid, because no money goes to abortions, despite what they fucking think. This is just reinforcing my opinion that Republicans hate women.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just don't want people to get health care. So.
No, they don't. They want them to use GoFundMe pages.
I have cancer. GoFundMe. This is fucking
Or make meth.
Yeah,
they can make meth.
Make meth. That was the start of, what was that, Breaking Bad. He had cancer, right? He had cancer.
Yeah.
He couldn't pay for it, so
he had cancer.
So he started cooking meth.
Yeah, so he could feed his family.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, after that bit of serious, I have a game that I would like to play with you.
Okay. I'm married.
It's called... Well, you're a bit old for me and a bit hetero, so... Yep. It's called Would You Rather.
Okay. So would I rather what?
So, well, it can be anything, and you can think of something to ask me too. So it can be like, would you rather go to Disney World or whatever? You can pick anything, but I have a few that I've written already that I want to ask you.
I have nothing prepared.
And some. Well, that's okay. If you think of one, you can definitely ask me. And I stole some of these off the internet too. So, first, would you rather sell all of your possessions or sell one of your organs.
Can I choose the organ?
You could choose either or. Can you choose the organ? Yeah, I guess you can. Unless it's a stupid one. But I would assume you would pick like a kidney or something.
I only have one.
Oh. Damn.
Something I didn't know until I was 38 years old and 19 years in the Navy. I only have one kidney. It never formed in utero. So I only have one kidney. So yeah.
Wow.
They were taking an x-ray. I was doing my out processing, the annual, but because I was getting ready to retire within the year. So they had a special advanced, more physical that I had to do, and one of them was basically a full body x-ray. And so and then they're like, you've only got one kidney. I'd been in the Navy 19 years and they didn't know I only had one kidney. Isn't that crazy?
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
See, why am I doing this?
Because you have to pick one.
I've been poor. So I could lose it all and start again. It would suck. But I've been there.
Well, you're selling them, so I guess you get all the money they're worth. So technically you could just buy everything again. I guess.
I would, don't get me wrong, my body's pretty fucked up, but I don't want it to be any more fucked up with a lack of another organ. So I would probably have to choose, I would sell everything. I get a lot of knickknacks and bullshit, but, a TV's a TV. An Xbox is an Xbox.
Yeah.
So, by the way, fuck PlayStation.
I think I would definitely choose to sell all my possessions. I don't have that much anyway, and I try not to live with a huge amount of possessions to begin with.
Okay. There was a question, I think, that you wanted to ask me about Dungeons & Dragons you had mentioned at some point. What was this?
There definitely was. Okay.
I don't want you to I don't want you to forget. Because apparently this one's been bugging at you.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. I thought about it the other day when I was playing D&D, and I was thinking, so we're both atheists in the real world, but do any of your Dungeons & Dragons characters have, like, deities in that world?
You are not going to believe this, but I've been playing off and on a paladin with a group, a paladin of Torm in Forgotten Realms. And, I actually think that me being an atheist makes me play a paladin better. I think so.
Really?
And I think that because I don't think there is a god, that if paladins in the game know there is a god, they've been touched by a god, they've had a conversion at some point. You remember how I mentioned the movie Boondock Saints with Molly on Mormon in episode 3? Have you ever seen the movie Boondock Saints? Oh, wow.
No.
You need to watch that movie. You really need to watch that movie. So basically there was these guys who were religious growing up as far as they went to church, and they were fairly devout, but they smoked and had sex and drank and all kinds of shit. They're from Boston. A couple of Irish guys from Boston, but they knew a lot of languages because of the mixed diversity that is Boston. And so anyways, they had a fight that they had gotten into with some Russian mobsters, and they killed them, but it ended up being in self-defense. So Willem Dafoe plays an FBI agent in this thing, and he's such a great character, a gay FBI agent. and he's amazing as a character. I love Willem Dafoe. What a great actor. And so they're going to release them because it was a self-defense, right? And so they're in like a bunk room, and they get water dripping on their heads, and they start saying this prayer that they've been saying for a long time, and they just look at each other and they realize that they just had that conversion, oh my God, I know God is real moment. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And see, the thing is, in the real world like it is here, people think they've had a touched by a God moment, but it's just chemicals. You know what I'm saying? It's just oxytocin and painkillers. Yeah, LSD will work too. Do you see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But in the Dungeons & Dragons world, if a person becomes a paladin, you are channeling your spells literally from your god. And so, you basically can have an avatar of your god come see you and all kinds of shit. And that's basically what happens. That's what happens when you get your turn to God moment. So I think that because of me being able to see this logically, I can play a character of faith better than somebody who just grew up with it and has no reason why they're believing it. Does that make sense?
I think that makes sense. I play a lot of D&D, and well, my main character that we play the most, he's the best. His name's Phallic.
A dick.
And yeah, his name is Phallic Clitoricus. And he's a bard, obviously. And his god, his backstory, real quick, is his parents died when he was really young, so he got put in a religious institution, and that's where he was raised, and they made him wear like a chastity belt type thing, so he never got to touch his penis, like fully. So he never got to masturbate or anything. And one day, the chastity belt broke. It was when he was a teenager, and so he ran off into the woods masturbating wildly for months, and it was so revolutionary for him that he started worshiping his own penis. So his god is his penis.
Wow, I know probably some straight dudes out there who are probably like that. That's pretty fucking funny. The Mormons would love that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they would.
Okay. So that's my Dungeons & Dragons thing. But generally speaking, I like playing fighters. And so my last 3.5 character I tried to play a fighter as a samurai, but without going to samurai class, because a samurai class is shit. So I actually think I made a better samurai playing a straight fighter. And I'm playing a 5th edition game now, and I'm also playing a straight fighter, but I'm playing like a battle master war guy. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I really do too. 3rd and 3.5 was so broken it wasn't even funny. And so 4th, they kind of got away from it a little bit, and I really didn't like 4th, but I'm really kind of digging 5th. So, yeah, I've been playing, like I've said before, since the red boxes, since the red box, the Dungeons & Dragons way back then, and I've played Advanced, and then all the way up from then. So I've been playing since, 1st edition. I didn't play Chainmail, that was before my time.
Okay. I do have a red
the original
box myself. Yeah.
Not the redone, but the original from the mid 80s, 83, 84.
Yeah, I got it from I don't remember where I got it actually. Some store had it and I bought it.
Pretty awesome, huh? Do you still have it?
Yeah, somewhere in my closet.
I got mine on the shelf.
Oh, I know. I have all my other D&D books on a shelf. I need to get it out and put it up. I actually haven't finished unpacking from moving a few months ago, so... Yeah.
Oh, fuck your god.
Oh, fuck your god. Oh, fuck my dick. Because my dick is my god. So, I have like 2 more questions I'm interested to hear your answer to. Well, maybe 3. Okay. Would you rather your partner have a homosexual affair or a heterosexual affair?
Okay. See, that's an interesting question. Okay, because I think the reason why men get so pissed off about women cheating is because it's the whole thing on whether or not any children is yours. Do you know what I'm saying? So, guys get pissed off if their woman cheats, if it's another guy, because it's this whole thing of she thinks that he can be a better man than you, and so you're gonna lose your woman to another dude, and so it's all about kids. You see what I'm saying? Because it all goes back down to having babies, and so the old lovers triangle, 2 guys and 1 woman. How many times have we heard this story where somebody ends up dead, So, So when it comes down...
I had never thought of that.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Okay, so to go on with what I was saying, I was talking about how it would be with, making sure that your children were yours. And so even if it was with a trans man, a woman going into a trans man, I don't need to fucking elaborate anymore because I'm a great big fucking idiot. It's still the thing of, my wife getting penetrated by a man, somebody who calls themselves a man. And so it would be, basically it would be kind of like damaging to your psyche, because I would think that my wife would be wanting to leave me for somebody else who I would think was better. And if it was reversed, would my wife, if I was having an affair, would my wife think that I would like this other woman better than her? So that's how come I could never have an affair on my wife. I've never had an affair. I've never cheated on a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever. I've never done it. So,
right.
Although I've had them happen to me, I'm just not that kind of a person. So,
right.
I would prefer it to be a female, but honestly, I just wouldn't like it to happen at all.
Obviously, but...
Yeah. So, but if I had to pick one, it would be with another woman, and then maybe I could score a greater threesome.
Wow. Very, very manly, cis hetero.
I know. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I would like to clarify that you are a monogamous person, and
yes,
so am I. A lot of people are like polyamorous relationships exist in which you can still cheat if you don't tell each other, but
I think you're a horrible person if you do that.
Yeah, it's awful, but
you are a shitty person if you cheat on your significant other. So,
okay.
And if you want to do that, then just leave them.
Right. I think that makes the most sense, honestly.
So if you have the strong urge and you think you're going to do it, then just leave the other person. Don't be miserable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, another question. Would you rather be able to turn half of all Christians atheist instantly, or make all politicians in the world believe in and also care about climate change instantly?
I would much rather have the rational awakening of humans. With, I think, generally speaking, now don't get me wrong, with atheists, it really is herding cats. It's next to impossible. But I think generally speaking, most atheists are rational people, by and large. I think that they're largely rational because that's the spot where most people have their cognitive dissonance is when it comes to religion. And you know what I mean by cognitive dissonance, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let me explain cognitive dissonance to our one listener. Cognitive dissonance is holding on to a belief even though it's rational to not hold on to that belief. And you still do it no matter what. So I think that the cognitive dissonance leaving of people realizing that they're no longer, that a God no longer exists, open up their minds to a lot more other stuff. And once you can see that and you're using rationality, you can see that climate change is the most dangerous thing that faces us as a species. And I firmly believe that Mother Nature is getting ready to fart and blow us off the planet. I firmly believe. And with Cheeto in the White House and wanting to cut EPA and all kinds of shit, that even if he doesn't get it done, he wants to. And his EPA person is somebody who hates the EPA. And they want to basically, they've already signed the rule that coal companies can dump coal ash into water. So, because, like, fuck people.
Yeah.
And so, so once these people are rational, I think it wouldn't be that hard to get them to see the logic and the reason behind all kinds of stuff. And so once they start seeing that global climate change is real and is human caused, that there's a lot of other stuff that will open up. And our society will be better really quickly. And so even if the politicians don't see it, that because if half the Christians turned atheists, so we're talking, what, another 20% of the United States? If another 20% of the... I'm using a round number. I don't know if it's true.
It might be more than that, actually.
Okay, well, I'm just assuming that 40% of the people in the United States are some form of Christian. My number could be low. So half of that is 20%. Let's use that as a conservative number. So if half of those people suddenly believe that their God isn't real, how many percent of them is going to use that rationality and turn around all kinds of other stuff? That's a big number.
Actually, I just looked it up, and it says 70%, approximately 70% of the adult population in the world, I suppose. No, is this in the United? It might be just in the United States. 70%, either way, is a lot. 70% are Christian, so and 50% of that go to church. Yeah, that'd be 35% of the people in the United States, plus what already is atheist.
That would change our country to majority atheist. If 35% of Christians, some form of it, change to atheist, plus the 20% that considers themselves non-religious now, that's 55%.
That would be...
Imagine what would happen.
That probably would just lead to people caring about climate change anyway.
Yes.
But that would just be the United States.
Yes. But as the United States, we're one of the largest countries, in landmass. We've got a shit ton of people. What, 250 million people or something like that?
I think 300 million, yeah.
300 million. Wow, I'm off by 50 million people. That's a lot.
Well.
So, yeah. That's a shit ton of people. 300 million people is a lot of people. And so if all of a sudden we went majority atheist, 55%, that could really do a lot of change very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a huge number. Wow. That's staggering. If only.
Yeah.
Fuck your God.
Fuck your God. Well, it looks like we have a really good lineup for the next few episodes.
I think so. I'm not going to spoil anything, but we've got some guests lined up who I'm very excited about all of them coming, if we can get them.
Get them to come? All of them?
Leave with the sex joke. Absolutely.
I would just like to end by saying thank you again to Molly for being our first patron.
Our first patron. Yay.
Super exciting.
Hopefully here soon, it's super excited. Hopefully here we're going to start having more patrons, and you can draw pictures for them and all kinds of stuff. So Erik's a really good artist. So make him draw paintings, draw pictures. Make him draw pictures.
Yeah. So if you go look on our Patreon page at patreon.com/OAF, you'll see all the cool rewards you can get. And if you do $3 per episode, if you stick with us for 2 months, I will draw you a picture.
And it won't be like a stick figure, like a dog chasing a ball over a hill or something like that, right? It'll be a nice picture.
Yeah, it'll probably be a penis, but no, I'm just kidding. It could be. No promises, but it'll be something nice.
Something that you're going to put some time and effort in.
Yeah, like 5 minutes. No, I'll...
At least a whole 5 minutes.
At least a whole 5 minutes. No, I will definitely put some thought and time into it, and it'll be really awesome.
That sounds great. Well, I think this is going to be it for today, episode 5. OAF 5. Damn. Kind of amazing, isn't it? 5.
I know. I'm getting really comfortable with this, and I really enjoy doing it. So
I do too. So
I'm sure our one listener really enjoys listening. So
maybe, I don't know. Might have to pay them. We'll see.
We'll probably have to pay them.
Well, I think that's it for now, and we'll see y'all soon.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you for listening to the Odd Atheist Friends podcasts. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please contact via email at oddatheistfriends@gmail.com or message us on Facebook at facebook.com/OAF podcast. We now have Twitter. Please follow us there at OAF podcast. Don't forget to support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/OAF. This is Matthew and Erik of the Odd Atheist Friends Podcast. Have a great and godless day.